Like, it caught my attention that Steph seems to be striking the chord of the league's in a really good place. And I don't think the league is in some disastrous place. Like, I don't want it to sound like that. We love these games. We love the NBA. We love the Warriors. Here's the big problem in the NBA. We're all talking about tanking, and that's how losing is incentivized. Here's the other problem the NBA's got. Winning is penalized. This is Steph Curry. He was kind of asked about tanking, but I was more interested in where the conversation went next because we don't have a tanking team here in town. But listen to Steph talk about the league.
How many teams are tanking right now? Even the teams that are in the play-in chase? The third of the league, so 10 teams? Is it really that big of a problem? I'm asking. We feel like there's obviously a lot of competition. It's something I'm sure every year the NBA wants to address why the play-in tournament exists. Things evolve, problems arise, and everybody wants to shine a spotlight on all the negatives of the league, but let's focus on the positives of how great the competition is at the top. There still is relevancy regular season-wise of the seeding and playoff chase. I know there's a conversation around how many games we're playing. That's probably where I would focus more the attention. But let's not forget the league is in a great place overall in terms of the attention, the skill level, the global reach, all of that stuff. Every year you'll address the issues. I don't have those answers, though.
I mean, I hope it doesn't.
I wonder what he was saying when he talked about the number of games we're playing.
Yeah.
Is he saying we're playing too many games?
Yes, that's how I took it.
Okay, then
Which again does not land well with fans.
It doesn't, especially when you're making $60 million a year. So, all right, Steph, you want to go ahead and cut that baby down to 72 games. So you're going to take 10 games off of 82, which is about 12%. You go ahead and give up $9 million. How about that?
I mean, who knows?
Steph, did we lose you?
No, he might. He's the kind of guy. He might actually be like, okay. Like, I
right,
don't.
so you cut it down to 72, and now he's going to play 50 of 72 instead of playing 60 of 82. The problem is all the same.
Of course, but you know my take whenever someone brings up fewer games. It's just like, it's not going to happen. Like, never in the history of ever has a sports league come forward and been like, we've got the fix. We're not going to play as many games.
Right.
It's more games. It's more teams. It's more rounds. It's more. Billionaires. More. That's all it ever is.
But the key, and this is where the NBA players have figured out the hack is we don't have to play those games.
Exactly.
And now we have the doctors who say, you know what, load management, man, you've played a lot of games and back-to-backs. You're an older guy. You can't go back-to-back. And we got to limit your minutes. We got to limit your games. Limit. So if you're Steph, and I'm not saying this for him, but a player like Steph, you're the top earning guy in the league. You don't have to play all 82.
Nope.
You don't have to play 70. You have to play 65 to qualify for awards, which he won't this year. And so I wonder how many guys are actually going to play 65 and be eligible for the all-defense team or the all-NBA team and all the rest of it.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's going to be a sliding scale, a smaller number every year. I was just, it caught my attention that Steph seems to be striking the chord of the league's in a really good place. And I don't think the league is in some disastrous place. Like, I don't want it to sound like that. We love these games. We love the NBA. We love the Warriors. I'm watching every single game. And when we have a whole week like this where there's no games, I miss it. So he's not like sitting here in the middle of Wrongville. I'm not saying that, but would love to hear from fans on that idea. The general state of NBA basketball. Are you feeling good about it? Are you feeling valued? Are you feeling like your dollar is getting you what you want when you choose to spend it, however you choose to spend it? Here's the big problem in the NBA. We're all talking about tanking, and that's how losing is incentivized. Here's the other problem the NBA's got. Winning is penalized. So that's your phrase. That's your motto. Losing, incentivized. Winning, penalized. And that's, to me, very, very troubling. We've talked about this a number of times this year. What's about to happen over the next 3 years with Oklahoma City?
They're going to either win this year or come close, and then next year they're going to start the sell-off because Jalen Williams' contract kicks in, Chet Holmgren kicks in, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander kicks up, and so all these great guys, for example, Hartenstein, I think it's a team option. He's gone. And Lou Dort, he's gone. So the sell-off begins in July this year. There's no way they can win 3 in a row, let alone 2.
And what did J-Dub and Chet Holmgren, to me, have in common that makes their situation so special for Oklahoma City?
They were drafted.
They were drafted
and
there.
They were good. Drafted and good equals, well, that won't last.
You should be celebrated. You should be awarded. You should be put up on a pedestal. And it's no different than what all of us experienced here with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. Drafted here, stay here. Win here as long as humanly possible.
Well, thank God Steph Curry got hurt.
Yep.
I mean, he got hurt, and he only was worth 4 years and $44 million. I mean, he's probably worth more, but they got him for that, and that cleared the decks for everything.
Yes, that allowed them to augment, which I don't know. You know, you could debate what would have happened to Warrior basketball if you didn't ever get Kevin Durant. They were already elite, but they were able to even go get Andre Iguodala because of what you just brought up. So you're able to augment. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I want teams to be able to go out in the free agent world and do some things. But when the core of your team is drafted and developed right there in your building, never, ever, never, ever, ever, not for a second, should you be penalized for that. And I believe these teams are being penalized for that. This is a super, sort of layman's way of saying it, because they do have what's called bird rights. And that allows you to go over the cap.
Right.
I would push it even further. If you drafted them, you developed them, and then you win with them, your salary ain't got nothing to do with the cap at all. Nothing. I don't you are
maybe
not
half the salary,
or whatever.
Sure.
Find that's why I call it a layman's take. Find a way so that not only are you allowed to keep them by going way over the cap and way over the tax mark, then don't tax them the same. Not those contracts. Not those contracts. Those players should never have a wandering eye. In my opinion, they should get everything they're worth, and they should be able to stay right there. And if they don't, it's because the team chose to not keep them, or the player chose to go play somewhere else. But Oklahoma City, they should be allowed to keep Chet Holmgren and J-Dub as long as humanly possible and not have those very, very large salaries force a breakup. That's to me, that's a much bigger problem.
For me, the even bigger problem than that is players are not incentivized to actually play unless you're in a situation where you think you can win. And you look at some of the highest paid guys. Joel Embiid is a guy making 56.2, and he doesn't play a lot of basketball. Zion Williamson is going to be a free agent, and he doesn't play a lot of basketball. Anthony Davis is never healthy. These guys don't actually play basketball. And now Giannis making 54. I guess he's hurt or he's not hurt, and he's not going to play because they want to trade him, or he wants to stay because, stars attract. They don't chase, whatever that is. But these guys don't have the same incentive to go out there and play as lesser players. So you look at this Warrior team right now. You've got Pat Spencer, you've got Gui, you've got GP2, you've got Pods. You have all these guys who are not making generational wealth yet. I mean, they're making nice money, but they're not making this kind of money. So they have to play. They have to go out there and still try to earn their stripes and earn their dollars. But the big money guys, you don't have the same level of incentive. And so why play?
Well, and I do think that there's always nuance. If LeBron James and Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler and players like that need a day off here or there, well, yeah, you're over 35 years old. And you, especially with their playoff success, these guys have logged thousands and thousands of miles and minutes. But they're also role models, and it trickles down. Why the hell does Shai Gilgeous-Alexander need a day off? Why?
I mean, he plays a lot.
So do his teammates. Like the guys who come in off of the bench, sometimes they're playing 30 minutes too, just like the stars are. Nobody ever, right? Kevon Looney didn't play a lot of minutes. He didn't get banged around down low? Like, why are the young guys doing this? That to me, and again, it's because their role models are saying and doing one X, Y, Z.
Yeah, and the science tells you too. Yeah,
and the science and the health. And so, like, I'm certainly willing to meet them halfway. They know what's going on more than we do. But as always, you got to know your audience. And I think that these players, this league, more importantly, needs to realize how all of this lands with fans. It's my number one issue with the NBA. No matter what it is they're doing, from Dame Lillard in the three-point contest to load management to tanking to the NBA Cup, where the only change is that the floor is painted and players get extra money if they win at the end, all the way down to everything that we're talking about here. Like, let's admit something to the NBA. We're just fans. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. All I can do is tell you how this lands with us. When you have all of these problems and you walk to the microphone and go, too many games, like, you're kicking the fan in the teeth. That's how they're going to take it. Whether it's rational or not, that's how they're going to take it.